Hey guys, I'm Alistair, and this is the Nike Vaporfly 4. It's incredibly fast for any distance from 5K to marathons really, and it is comfortable enough to go over longer distance. Some people might find it a little bit firmer underfoot than say the Alphafly 3 for example. So if you're really used to a more softer or higher stack race day carbon plated running shoe like the Alphafly or the Endorphin Elite 2 from Saucony, then this one is a little bit firmer, but that means it's more responsive. I don't find this one too firm by any means. I absolutely love this shoe, which came as a very big surprise to me because I really didn't like the Vaporfly 3. This one here. There were some things with this one that I didn't like. And a few other things that I didn't like have all been fixed with the Vaporfly 4. So I'm super happy about this one and I can't wait to tell you all about it. Let's start with the key specifications. They cost $270. That's up $10 from the Vaporfly 3 from last year. That's definitely on the high end for a super shoe like this, but there's a lot going on and it's incredibly lightweight. They weigh 5.9 ounces or 167 grams. That's for a size US men's 9, my pair. That is incredibly lightweight. That's the lightest super shoe I've reviewed to date. Easily. They have a 6mm drop from heel to toe. That's 35mm of stack height under the heel and 29mm under the forefoot. The upper is using a lighter engineered mesh with reduced tongue and heel bulk, making it super lightweight. It's still incredibly breathable and it conforms to your feet really well. The midsole is using a Zoom X foam with a full-length carbon fiber plate, which has been trimmed a little bit to reduce weight of this shoe when compared to the previous version. And the outsole is using thinner rubber with a new wavy waffle pattern at the forefoot and very small heel patches here. I'll let you know how that performs in just a moment. When it comes to sizing and fit, they do fit true to size in length, and I'd say they have a medium to narrow width, but they are certainly more accommodating than the Vaporfly 3, which means if you do have medium width fit, you're really gonna absolutely love these. You're gonna get on with them well. If you've got narrow feet, you'll probably get on with them even better, to be honest. If you've got wide feet and you know they're very wide, well, you might have to look elsewhere, I'm afraid. It's still very much a race day fit, so it's very snug, and it's supposed to be, so there's no movement of your foot inside the shoe and there's no wasted material, keeping the weight down as much as possible, but also giving you a good heel lock and a solid secure fit. I do recommend doing these laces up tightly to make sure your heel doesn't slip out too much, or alternatively just do racer's loop heel lock method. If you're not sure what that is, just follow that link up there. That will show you how to do it and it just gives you much better heel lock down the shoe. If you're enjoying this video so far, please give it a like. Make sure you comment on the video. That's really important to me. It lets me know you're engaged, you're enjoying the content, and you want to converse. And that is the most important thing. I want to make this channel more of a community. I want to get your input as well. If you've run in these shoes, or maybe the previous version, I want to know your thoughts. And everyone else who is subscribed to the channel or who watches this video in the future will also greatly benefit from that contribution as well. So I really appreciate it. Just drop your thoughts. Let me know how you get on with these shoes. Or if you've got another question that I haven't answered in this review, drop that in the comments as well, and I'll get back to you. I always reply to every comment. And of course, subscribe to this channel for more running shoe reviews just like this one. I always keep things genuine, honest, and as insightful as possible to help you decide whether or not the shoes I'm currently reviewing are going to be best for you. But if you still have a question, maybe I haven't answered one of the things that you had in your mind, then just drop that question in the comments down below and I'll get back to you. And don't forget to hit that notification bell. That'll let you know as soon as new videos drop. Congratulations, you've made it to my performance review. The first thing I'm going to talk about is just how incredibly lightweight these shoes are. Honestly, I have a lot of shoes, as you can see here. This is just my small selection. I go through so many shoes for reviews, so I get to feel different weights of shoes. And I have never felt a running shoe quite this lightweight. Honestly, it's incredible. And it's something you can only experience when you get one in your hands and slip it on your feet. And what that does, how that translates to you and your run, is the fact that it doesn't feel like you're wearing shoes. It allows you to pick your feet up much faster, making the ride feel snappier and increases your cadence just naturally. You're not carrying any extra bulk on your feet. So the ride just feels more freeing and faster and effortless because you have less weight on your feet. It's as simple as that, but it actually really does make a difference having a shoe this lightweight. They've trimmed the weight in all manner of places, from the outsole to the midsole and also the upper. Really fine-tuning the fit in the upper, but also just stripping the midsole out of extra foam, which isn't really needed, to be honest. This one feels much better to me than a previous version, which I think was a slightly higher stack. And because of it a little bit wobblier, the fact it was a little bit narrower as well, just made that shoe really unstable. And I don't feel any of that in this shoe. So Nike has definitely made some fantastic improvements in this one. And it is definitely one of my favorite super shoes right now because of it. I appreciate how Nike has done away with the asymmetrical lacing system as well. Just didn't like the look of that. Just looks wonky. And to be honest, it didn't benefit the fit at all. It didn't help me get a better lockdown or secure fit with the shoe. It didn't help me get that fit faster. I just felt like a quirky thing that Nike put in just to try and be different, and ended up being a bit of a fail for me. So this one is much more traditional, just works, love it. The midsole is sensationally fast. ZoomX foam is renowned for being lightweight, bouncy and responsive, and cushioned for that matter. It's got it all really, all in this one package. It feels incredible. There's enough cushioning to give you a nice amount of protection underfoot over longer distances. But then at the forefoot, you've got a really nice snappy takeoff. It really pops. It gives you a really fantastic response. And as you can see, this is me flexing the plate. It's pretty stiff, but it's supposed to be. It's not as stiff as the Alphafly 3, which I'll demonstrate in a moment. But what that does is give you a good amount of pop, and the shoe does fly up. When you compare that to the Alphafly 3, that is so much stiffer. It's a much stiffer shoe, but it's got a lot higher stack height and it's more cushioned underfoot. This is definitely better suited for marathon racing if you are looking for a softer, more comfortable shoe, but it is heavier. This is probably going to be much better for half marathon races or anything up to half marathon distance. But if you don't mind a responsive shoe with more ground feel, maybe that helps you run faster, then you're going to love this one too. But marathon runners, I think the majority of people are going to prefer the Alphafly 3 just for the extra protection in the midsole. But back to my flex test. Oh, it's got great pop. But my word, you have to be moving fast to be able to activate that plate. To be able to flex it, you need a lot of force, and that force comes from forward momentum in your stride as you're moving quickly. If you're a slow runner, you might not benefit from that as much either. I've been using this for tempo runs, interval sessions. I haven't done any racing in these shoes yet because I haven't had them long enough to be able to, but I think I might actually take these on my next road race, whenever that may be. I haven't got one booked in the calendar. My next race is Speed Goat Mountain Races, 28-kilometer mountain race in Utah. If you're going to be there, drop a comment down below. Maybe I'll get to see you out there on the trails. Can't wait for that race. And I'm going to be sharing a little bit about how I'm training for that race because I'm living in Florida right now, which, as many of you will know, there aren't many hills here. And Speedgoat Mountain Races has got one hell of a lot of vertical gain, and it's all at altitude. So how am I training for this race? Well, subscribe and stick around. You will get a notification as soon as that video drops. It's going to be a fun one. But back to road racing and this shoe, half marathon distances, half marathon runners, you're going to absolutely love the responsive feel, the snappy ride, how incredibly lightweight it is. All in all, the combination of the breathable upper, the comfortable feeling of the upper, and how well the lacing system does, the fact it's nice and stable now, or certainly more stable than the previous version. It's got so much more going for it now. It's a completely different shoe. Now, it's not perfect. I have been running in the wet in this shoe and traction is sketchy. That's all I'm gonna say. On wet asphalt or concrete, I did slip a little bit and I was losing a little bit of energy because obviously I was picking up the pace, trying to go as fast as I can because I'm wearing a carbon plated running shoe. And I just felt as I was toeing down, because I'm landing on my forefoot, the shoe does slip a little bit before it grips. Not a huge amount, but enough for me to think, ooh, I better slow down on these corners because I'm probably going to slip out. That popped into my mind, so I have to call that out. I feel like traction needs to be improved. Maybe the rubber or the actual pattern of this just needs to be improved. A stickier rubber will certainly help, but it's going to reduce durability and the outsole will wear out more. So that's just me thinking to myself, how can Nike fix this? I think maybe it's probably going to be the traction pattern, and spacing out the lugs a little bit might help too. Because the rubber compound is certainly durable, I'm not seeing much wear on here at all. The only wear I'm seeing is where the midsole foam is exposed. This is where there's no rubber. So that's the only area where I'm seeing durability issues, but nothing more than any other super shoe out there who do the same thing. They do leave areas of no rubber compound, and that's to make the shoe lighter. Very quickly then, how does the Vaporfly 4 compare to the previous version, Vaporfly 3? Well, firstly, the platform is ever so slightly broader on the new version, bringing extra stability and just a much better ride in my opinion. The new mesh upper is just much better fitting. It's a little bit more forgiving, so if you do have medium and slightly wider feet, you're going to get on so much better with this mesh upper and lacing system. And of course, it's done away with the asymmetrical, wonky looking lacing system on the previous version. Looks much tidier now. The new version is roughly ½ an ounce lighter. That's incredible. I don't know how they've done that. They've done a fantastic job in reducing the weight of this shoe even further, which I didn't know was possible. So kudos to Nike for that. And the plate has changed shape a little bit, the angle of it on this one, making it a little bit more poppy and responsive. There are, of course, different cosmetic changes to the shoe, so I don't know, which one do you prefer the look of? Let me know in the comments down below. But overall, if you are looking to upgrade from the previous version, if you loved the Vaporfly 3, I know you're going to love this version. There's absolutely no way you can't love this more, in my opinion anyway. If you didn't get on with this one, maybe you tried version 3 out and you were like, ooh, this is wobbly, I'm not going to be running in this one, like I was, then you need to give this new version a try. It feels like a completely different running shoe, and Nike is just totally dialed in the fit and ride. So all in all, a very good upgrade. You have to try it. And if you're wondering where the Vaporfly 4 sits in my best carbon plated race day super shoes roundup, follow that link up there or the one in the description. That will take you to alistairrunning.com, where I have a top 10 list of the best race day shoes on there. That's always up to date, so make sure you check that out if you are looking at other options, just to see where this one places against other racing shoes out there right now. You've made it to my final verdict. Is the Nike Vaporfly 4 worth $270? Yes. Now I know that's incredibly expensive, but all super shoes, carbon plated race day super shoes, they're all incredibly expensive. But There's a lot of fantastic technology that goes into them, and they do make you faster. Anyone who tells you carbon fiber plates don't, they're lying or they don't know what they're talking about. There have been numerous studies to show that carbon fiber plates, when running at speed, do give you an advantage. They make your run much more efficient and they just propel you forward faster with less effort. There's no denying it, they work. That said, they are expensive, like I said, so just use the shoes. If you're worried you're not getting value out of them because you don't get to use them very often because you just save them for race day, don't do that. Just use the shoes, enjoy them. They're just so much more fun to run in than just a non-plated running shoe sometimes, especially if you are running fast. So that's my advice, just use them, enjoy your shoes, get value out of them, get your money's worth. And they are worth it because this upgrade is so much better than the previous version. I love how the ride feels. Sure, it's more responsive than something like the Alphafly 3, but I like that feeling. I'm used to running in a more responsive shoe. I don't always like running in a very cushioned high stack running shoe because it's too much of a buffer or a filter for my body and the ground. I kind of like ground feel. I like to be able to use the biomechanics in my feet as naturally as possible and use my own human power rather than having that dampened by a highly cushioned running shoe. So love how they feel, very breathable. Obviously, I think they look good, really snappy, helps you pick up your cadence, and just really a fantastic all-round racing shoe. $270, I think you're really gonna like this one. Well, thanks for watching this Nike Alphafly 4 review. I hope it gave you some valuable insights into whether this shoe is gonna be good for you. If I missed anything, drop your question in the comments down below. I always reply to every comment. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more running shoe reviews just like this one. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace.